All right, so welcome to another Deep Dive, everybody. Today, we are going to be tackling the future of AI.
Okay.
And the sources we've got are, well, it's kind of like a coin toss.
Mm-hmm.
On one side, you have the Biden administration,
Right.
and they want a tighter grip on AI
Yeah.
for, national security and economic reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other side of the coin, it's this whole like AI for everyone thing
Yeah.
with open source models plopping up everywhere.
It's pretty wild.
So we're going to try to unpack all of
That's
that.
good.
These kind of dueling visions for the future of AI.
It is a pretty fascinating clash.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's really striking to me is how the Biden administration is, they're trying to manage technology that's like fundamentally about breaking down barriers,
Right.
not putting up new ones.
Exactly.
So that it will be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah. So let's start with the control side first.
Right.
Like, why is the Biden administration so, focused on these new AI regulations? What's the big deal?
Well, I think their rationale really comes down to three main concerns.
Okay.
First, there's national security, right? They're obviously worried about, adversaries potentially using AI for, well, let's just say, not so good things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, military advancements or cyber attacks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then there's economic competitiveness.
Right.
They definitely want the U.S. to, stay on top in the AI industry.
Sure.
And to do that, they need to, secure supply chains and talent and all that.
Mm.
And then third, there's responsible AI development.
Okay.
It's all about setting some ground rules, some guidelines, so to speak, to try and mitigate the risks that come with such a powerful technology.
Right.
Because there are a lot of potential risks.
Yeah. So that makes sense. But how are they actually trying to control things? Like, these sources keep mentioning a tiered access system for AI chips.
Right.
What is that?
Well, it's imagine there's this like VIP club for AI, but there are different membership levels.
Gotcha.
So tier 1, that's the US and its closest allies.
Okay.
It's about 18 countries total.
Mm-hmm.
They get unrestricted access to all the best AI chips.
Right.
The really powerful ones, the kind you need to train, like super advanced AI models.
Okay.
Then you have tier 2,
Uh-huh.
which is basically like a do not enter sign for countries that are under U.S. arms embargoes.
So like China and Russia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everyone else, well, they end up in tier 3, which means they face limits on how many AI chips they can get.
So if you're a researcher in, let's say, a tier 3 country and you're trying to do like cutting edge AI work,
Right.
you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, you're definitely in the slow lane.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty big deal.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's not even just about the chips.
Mhm.
The Biden administration is also putting restrictions on data centers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like companies running these massive data centers.
Like Microsoft and Google, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So they can apply for government accreditation.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get accredited, then 75% of their AI computing power has to stay in the U.S. Or with those, allied countries.
Right.
And they can't have more than 7% of their computing power in any single foreign nation.
So they're really trying to keep all the AI brain power like physically close to home.
Basically, yeah.
But isn't that going to cause some like international issues?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The European Union is already voicing concerns about the whole thing.
Oh, really?
They're basically arguing that European countries are, valuable economic partners, not security threats.
Right.
And China's response has been even stronger, I would say.
Oh, so.
They basically view these regulations as like a total overreach of U.S. authority, and they see it as an attempt to, hold back their own AI ambitions.
So it's kind of like this us versus them situation.
Yeah, a little bit.
With AI as the battleground,
Right.
what about reactions within the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are tech companies happy about these new rules?
Not really, no.
No.
A lot of tech companies are actually pushing back pretty hard against these restrictions.
Interesting.
Yeah, including some big names like NVIDIA.
Why?
They're worried that these restrictions will, hurt their sales, obviously, and stifle innovation and potentially even, give non-American competitors an advantage in the long run.
Oh, wow.
And some industry groups are even thinking about appealing to Congress to try and overturn the rules.
A lot of pushback.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pushback.
Okay, so what does all this mean? Like, what are the potential consequences of the Biden administration's strategy?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
This whole thing could really reshape the global AI landscape. Like, we could see AI development becoming more and more concentrated within the U.S. and its allies, which would basically create like an AI bloc.
Right.
And that could then, further escalate tensions with China and, make the whole technological rivalry even more intense. And then I think more broadly, these restrictions on, collaboration and knowledge sharing, they could potentially slow down global AI advancement overall.
So it makes you wonder if control is really the right answer here.
Yeah.
Like, what about the potential benefits of making AI more accessible to everyone?
Well, that's a great point. And that brings us to, the other side of the coin.
Right.
This whole movement towards democratizing AI, which I think is a really powerful counterpoint to, the idea of government control. So, yeah, instead of, like a select few holding all the cards with AI, imagine a world where AI tools and technologies are available to a much wider audience. It's not just tech giants and research labs anymore, Individuals, small businesses, organizations, like everyone can potentially, get involved.
So it's like taking that AI VIP club membership and like throwing open the doors to the public.
Exactly.
So how is this democratization actually happening? What's driving it?
Well, I think there are a few key factors. First, you have the rise of these open source platforms. Initiatives like OpenAI's ChatGPT and TensorFlow, for example. These are putting really powerful AI models into the hands of, developers all over the world. People can build on these existing frameworks without having to, start from scratch.
So it's like giving people the building blocks to create their own AI solutions.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what else is contributing to this increased accessibility?
Well, cloud computing is another huge factor. Services like AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure, they provide access to, really scalable AI capabilities without requiring companies to buy all this expensive infrastructure. It's kind of like renting a really high-performance computer instead of having to buy one.
That makes sense. So it's not just about making the technology, available. It's about making it affordable and easy to use.
Exactly. And that brings us to another big trend.
What's that?
User-friendly interfaces. We're seeing all these no-code and low-code platforms popping up that allow even, non-technical users to build AI-driven solutions.
So it's like drag and drop AI.
Yeah, pretty much.
Making it accessible to basically anyone.
Yeah, to a much broader audience.
Okay, so we've got the building blocks, we've got the computing power, and now we've got these user-friendly tools. Are there any real-world examples of this AI democratization in action?
Oh, absolutely. Tons. Well, take healthcare, for instance. We're already seeing, AI-powered diagnostics, personalized treatment plans, all leading to, better patient outcomes.
That is great.
Then you have finance. AI is being used for fraud detection, algorithmic trading, which, increases security and efficiency. And then in retail, AI is being used to optimize operations, boost sales through, things like customer insights and inventory management.
So AI is moving beyond the realm of science fiction. And it's becoming a practical tool for, everyday problems.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And the potential applications are just vast. I mean, think about all the industries that could be transformed, from education to transportation to agriculture. I mean, it's really incredible. Wider access to AI could lead to, breakthroughs we haven't even thought of yet.
It's interesting to think about, how this accessibility could potentially even address those concerns we were talking about earlier about, the potential for AI misuse. Like, if more people have access to AI, could that actually make it safer?
It's possible, yeah. It's certainly an interesting thought. I mean, if you distribute the power and knowledge more broadly, maybe that could help mitigate some of the risks. Of course, there are, potential downsides as well. We still have to be mindful of the ethical implications, and make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly, no matter who's building it.
Absolutely. So we've got the U.S. government trying to control AI on one hand, and then this push for making it more accessible on the other.
Right.
So what role is China playing in all this?
Well, China is a major player in this whole story, for sure.
Okay.
They've made it very clear that they want to be a global leader in AI by 2030.
Okay.
And they're not just, talking about it.
Right.
They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're investing heavily in AI research and development. They're actively working to create a self-sufficient AI ecosystem, one that's, less reliant on foreign technology.
So they're aiming for a more independent path.
Yeah, exactly.
Less reliant on the U.S. or other countries. Are there any specific examples of China's progress in AI democratization?
Oh, yeah, there are a few that really stand out.
Okay, what?
Well, there's DeepSeek.
Okay.
It's a startup based in Hangzhou, and they've developed this large language model called DeepSeek V3.
Okay.
And it's actually comparable in performance to OpenAI's GPT-4.
Wow.
But it's way cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Like a fraction of the cost.
How do they do that?
Well, they managed to train their model incredibly efficiently, using significantly less resources than their U.S. counterparts.
That's impressive.
It is.
So it seems like they're really committed to making advanced AI more affordable, more accessible. What's their philosophy behind that?
Well, their CEO, Liang Wenfeng, he's been very vocal about, his desire to empower smaller organizations and individuals with AI.
Okay.
He doesn't want to see the technology, monopolized by a handful of powerful companies.
Right.
He's a big advocate for open source innovation. He believes that, sharing their models will benefit the entire AI ecosystem.
That's a pretty stark contrast to the Biden administration's approach.
It is, yeah.
It seems like China is taking a much more open and collaborative stance.
Yeah, for sure.
Aiming to foster innovation and encourage widespread access to AI technology.
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of open access, we can't forget about Elon Musk and XAI.
Right.
They've been making a lot of noise with their Grok model.
Oh, yeah, they have.
What's that all about?
Well, their decision to offer free access to Grok is a pretty big deal. It's a cutting-edge conversational AI model that used to be, only available to paying subscribers, but now anyone can use it.
Wow.
So that opens up a lot of possibilities for individuals and organizations.
Yeah, that's pretty bold of them.
It is.
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, Musk has said that, he believes that empowering as many people as possible with AI is the best defense against its misuse.
Okay.
He thinks that by democratizing access to AI, you reduce the risk of, any one entity using it for harmful purposes. So
it's almost the opposite approach to the Biden administration's focus on control and restriction.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is.
It really highlights the fundamental tension at the heart of the AI debate, control versus openness.
Yeah.
It's a really complex issue with no easy answers.
Definitely.
And then you have companies like Meta, under Mark Zuckerberg's leadership. They've been big proponents of open source AI as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. They've released several of their Llama models as open source.
Okay.
Which lets, developers and researchers all over the world use them for their own AI applications.
So Zuckerberg's philosophy is kind of similar to Musk's then?
In a way, yeah.
Right.
Zuckerberg has said that he thinks, a more open approach ultimately creates more value for everyone.
So we've got this really interesting interplay between governments, companies, and individuals, each with their own vision for AI's future.
Yeah.
Like a giant puzzle.
It is.
With all these pieces that are, constantly shifting and evolving.
It's definitely a dynamic landscape.
Yeah.
And as AI continues to evolve, at this crazy pace, it's really important to keep asking those tough questions about, control, access, the potential impact on society.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a lot to keep track of, and it's changing so fast. And, we've talked about governments wanting control. We've talked about companies pushing for open access. We've even talked about China, charting its own course.
Right.
But there's this other layer to this whole thing.
Okay.
That's almost like straight out of science fiction.
What's that?
The singularity.
Oh, right.
This idea that AI could, like, surpass human intelligence and become self-aware.
It's a concept that's been around for a while. It's definitely captured the imagination for decades.
Yeah.
This hypothetical point where AI, transcends human capabilities and potentially takes control of its own destiny. It's while it's still very much in the realm of speculation, the rapid advancements in AI that we're seeing are making it a more intriguing and maybe even a little unsettling topic of discussion.
Definitely unsettling. Like, are we talking Skynet here?
Well,
robot overlords.
Well, let's not jump to Hollywood scenarios just yet.
Okay.
I mean, the singularity is still a theoretical concept. There's no, scientific consensus on if or when it might actually happen.
Okay.
But it does, it does force us to think about some pretty profound questions about the future of our, our relationship with AI.
Okay, so maybe no need to start building those underground bunkers yet.
Probably not.
But but if the singularity is more of a thought experiment, are there any real world implications to this whole debate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this whole singularity debate, it really fuels a lot of the the ethical discussions surrounding AI.
Right.
Like, if we were to create AI that is actually smarter than humans, what rights and responsibilities would it have?
Yeah.
Would we consider it a new form of life? How could we make sure that its actions, align with human values?
Yeah.
These aren't just, abstract philosophical questions. They have real practical implications for how we design, develop, and interact with AI systems.
It's like AI is forcing us to, redefine what it means to be human.
In a way, yeah. And to kind of reevaluate our place in the world. We're not just dealing with a tool anymore. We're potentially creating a new form of intelligence.
Yeah, it's a pretty big shift in perspective.
It is.
And it makes it seem even more important to have these conversations now.
Right.
While AI is still, relatively early in its development.
Exactly. We need to think carefully about the choices we make today and how those choices are going to shape, the future of our coexistence with AI.
Okay, so that all sounds a little overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, what can everyday people do to make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel kind of powerless when you think about all this.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot that individuals can do.
Okay, like what?
Well, first and foremost, stay informed.
Okay.
Read about AI, learn how it works, engage in discussions about its potential impact.
Yeah.
The more people understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be as a society to, make good decisions about its development and use.
So knowledge is power when it comes to AI.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Support organizations that are, that are working to promote ethical AI development.
Okay.
There are a lot of groups out there that are focused on, AI safety, fairness, transparency. Your support can help them advocate for, responsible AI practices and hold developers accountable.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's important to put our support behind those organizations that are really trying to shape AI's future in a positive way.
Right.
Anything else?
Be mindful of how you use AI in your own life.
Okay.
Ask questions about the AI-powered products and services you use.
Right.
Where does the data come from? Right.
How are the algorithms designed? Are there any potential biases built into the system?
That's a good point.
By being more, conscious consumers, we can help shape the market for ethical and responsible AI.
It is easy to just kind of accept these technologies without really thinking about, how they work or what they could mean.
Exactly. But we need to be more aware.
Yeah.
More engaged.
Absolutely.
The future of AI isn't something that's just going to happen to us.
Right.
It's something that we're all creating together. So let's be thoughtful, let's be responsible, and let's work towards a future where AI benefits all of humanity.
Well said. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I hope so.
From government control to open access, from the rise of China to singularity.
It's a big topic.
Yeah, the world of AI is full of complexity, opportunity, and challenges.
For sure. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everybody.
It's been a pleasure talking about this with you.
Yeah, and as AI continues to evolve, it's crucial that we continue these conversations.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And work together to shape a future where AI enhances our lives.
Yeah.
In a positive and meaningful way.
For sure.
And remember, everyone, stay curious.
Yes.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic that's shaping our world.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay relevant.